I'm going to have to ask each and everyone in here, councillors, MMCs, Ngwathe internal staff, can we please occupy these seats around you? The only people who would obviously be standing Oh, okay. Thank you. We are starting now. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mbulelo Mchilebe from the Office of the Executive Mayor. Firstly, let me take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you for joining us on this special history-making day for Ngwathe Local Municipality, as we are about to make some announcements that are very, very important for the future of this community. I'd also like to take this opportunity to extend our apologies for starting later than we have communicated. We were planned to start at 9, but because of 2 sessions that we've had prior to this one, we are starting a little bit late. We apologize, and we really want to be thankful for your patience. This media briefing is not going to be a very long session. We're just going to give to the Executive Mayor of Ngwathe, Councillor Victoria Tombeni, to give you the information she wants to give you. And immediately after that, we will allow you to ask questions, and then we will allow the Executive Mayor to respond to that as well. And as our interaction has said, this is specifically about the water-related issues. We have indicated that it's about the current pipeline water project, it's about the standby plant, the standby generator, and also about the major pipeline project. So we want to talk about those issues only, colleagues. So without any waste of time, immediately after this briefing, we'll go and visit the site so that you can also take your pictures as well. Without any waste of time, let me give over to the Executive Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to the media houses that are currently present. I am today standing here with my MMC for infrastructure, because we are basically launching infrastructural projects. And I've got the acting director and also the lady that is taking the forward with all the challenges that we have at the water treatment plant. I felt that it was important for us to have this meeting today to give information to the media, so that the media does not get information outside which would not necessarily be a true reflection. So I felt that it was important that I give the information and also allow for questions so that we address it. But I first want to say that as Ngwathe, in particular in Bahrain, we are coming from an area that is very painful, where we over time had protests over water-related issues. There were promises that was made, and the promises that was made was to say that as this new administration, we want to solve the water challenges in Paris and Ngwathe as a whole. I want to indicate that as a municipality, we found a lot of problems relating to our infrastructure. The dilapidation of our infrastructure and the water treatment plant in Bahrain not being able to function optimally so. And when the water treatment plant does not function optimally, it means less water that is going to our communities. Now, we are also at a stage where we found projects that were happening at the water treatment plant, and we classified them as failed projects. Last year in June, there was a project, a contractor that we have cancelled or terminated as a municipality by the name of CMS, that was doing the filters of the municipality. And the reason for this is that there was no progress happening at that with the filters. And once your filters are not working, it means there is a reduction of water in Paris. We came in where there was a project, which is the 2019 project, known as the one of the filters that we need to fix, where JoJo's has been installed, or JoJo's were taken to our communities. The water tankers was used. We came in, we had more than 9 water tankers that would deliver water. And ultimately, when we came in, we reduced it to about 3 to 4 of those water tankers. Because the initial idea was to say that we can't have water tankers for a long time. It means our people will always receive water from the JoJo's. But we want to solve the problem. Earlier this year in January, we had one of the major strikes where the JoJo's were burned. And because as a result of JoJo's being burned, it showed us the areas that does not have water. It started to show us there is a serious crisis in terms of water, because now the JoJo's were able to show or hide the fact that there is no water in areas, and community members will go to that area where the JoJo is. But after the JoJo's got burned, now you started seeing a person from one section going to another section to go and get water. You started seeing long queues of people trying to get water because there is no JoJo anymore close by. And you started to see our elderlies walking around looking for water after the burning of the JoJo's, and also the removal of the water tankers. So now, moving from 2019 to where we are to date, the glaring challenges of water started to really show that there is a problem. So what we have done, we have been trying to, and I'm going to be frank with the media, so that it does not look like we have not tried to do anything. The delay on appointments of those contractors, it was always because of a persistent strike that's going on, a persistent shutdown that's going on. Because if there is a shutdown, it means my municipal workers cannot come to work and do their work. So it delayed the progress in terms of the appointments. But ultimately, we are where we are today, and by the grace of God, this time around, we were able to finalize the work. We have appointed a contractor that will be working on the water treatment plant, which is known by the 66 million project, because everyone wanted to know the 66 million. So finally, we have appointed a contractor that will be working on the 66 million project, which will be dealing with our clarifiers. It will deal with the filters. It will deal with the screens. The screens is the inlet where the water is coming in. And because our screens are not in a good condition, it also reduces the water. It will deal with our dosing. Our dosing system has been having challenges. Sometimes you would hear the dosing pump is not working, therefore our water quality is not in a good state. So the dosing will be dealing with the water quality. And then what will also happen is there is also some valves that needs to be replaced, because we are currently losing some water at the plant itself. So we are going to fix some of the pipes there at the plant. What was a burning issue is the standby generator. We have also appointed for the standby generator, so that we have a standby generator during the time of load shedding, And now, as Ngwathe, there's this way when the voltage, when we have a higher load, and then we would have to try and balance the load so that we don't kick out Eskom electricity. We will then do that, and by the grace of God, it's starting to get warmer. So there is also reduction in this load reduction. There's work, and what we are also going to do at the plant, water plant is the standby generator is the 66 million project. I call it the 66 million project. And then we've got the asbestos project. Asbestos project is where we are going to remove the asbestos pipelines, in particular in town, because remember the town is, the establishment is older than your township. So asbestos, will be removing the asbestos, which leads to a lot of leakages. And most of the time, because the water comes from town, and if there is a pipe burst, which is an asbestos pipe burst, it means that there is no water going to areas that's supposed to get water. So we are going to remove the asbestos in town, and also our first establishment in the township, which is your old location, because it's old. There are areas in your old location that is also using asbestos. So we are going to remove those asbestos pipes so that we are able to monitor and have less leakages, so that we address to this issue of the water challenges. And all the contractors for this project have been appointed, and today we will be checking their sites where they will be working so that we can start, because there's no more time for the delays. The community wants water. What we will also be doing is that we'll be going to public meetings. In our public meetings, we have now said that the ward councillors need to go to their communities and inform them of the work that is being done and the work that is going to happen. But our biggest challenge is that now that work is going to happen, because there's already a crisis of water, we now want the communities buy-in to say that what will be the plan B for them to get water from the municipality, while work is being done at the water treatment plant. We will also assess, because I don't think it will be a total shutdown of the plant, there will still be movement in terms of water, but we will have to assess and see how best can we fix that, and how best can the community now tell us, now that they have said we want water, and we are coming and saying, okay, these are the projects that we have identified to address the challenge of water. How do we work together with the community so that we are able to salvage the situation? We will continuously, what will be happening is that in terms of the monitoring of this project, in terms of council, there's a infrastructure committee that's supposed to do the oversight. We have discussed as councillors and we have raised the need for us to intensify making sure that this committee is doing its work. The reason for this is that on the previous projects, and one councillor raised it as an important point to say that when the infrastructure committee is not doing its daily work, then we will have failed projects. So we don't want to go to a point where we have failed projects anymore. We want to see projects of Ngwathe working, because most of our projects are currently, which are the previous projects, are seen as a problem. You can go to Fredefort, the water treatment plant, there's a crisis. You can go to the pipeline from Kopis to Edenville, there is a crisis. You can go to the project in Heilbronn, which there was a breach that was supposed to have happened, there is a crisis. You can also look at the projects here, the pipelines in Paris that were done, there's always, every week, there's a leakage, this was not done properly, so there is crises. Now we are saying with these new projects, in bringing hope, there is going to be, we are going to intensify oversight. We are now going to really talk to contractors. There is no contractor that will get extended work if their time is over. If we have said 8 months, it's 8 months. If we have said 2 months, it's 2 months. We can't we are going from an era where a contractor was given 12 months and they are in the municipality for more than 12 months. They are now at 3 years, still doing the same thing. So that is one of the things that we want to get rid of. I've already spoken to the acting director, technical services, because I've requested him to give us all the contracts that were running before this ones that are still not yet completed, so that we terminate them all and we go out and appoint other people that knows how to do the work, so that those people implement what needs to happen. We are done with contractors that does not know what they should do. The community is suffering, the council is suffering, and above all, everyone that's sitting here is suffering. The lives of councillors are in danger, because councillors are now starting to do work of officials of this municipality. A councillor is supposed to give information. A councillor should not now even know the technical aspect of why this thing is not working. We are moving away from an era where contractors and consultants will run this municipality, where you find that projects have happened. When you ask the official what is happening, then they say, "Councillor, we can't touch there because it's the contractor." Yet the community is suffering. So now we are moving away from that era where contractors will run the show. If you don't do your job, you will be terminated. The infrastructure subcommittee will do their oversight, and they are going to give a report to council. If the work is substandard, they will indicate that it's substandard work. We need to give the people of Ngwathe water. Government has spent a lot of money in ensuring that we give our communities a better life. Yet, the implementation does not show a better life. We are done with that era. And I'm emphasizing on this because we are going to take this serious. We can't have a water treatment plant where millions have been spent for more than 15 years, and yet there is still no water. It cannot be correct. We understand that there is scarcity of water because in the world, water is starting to be a problem. But an important issue is that when you have your natural reserve, which is the Vaal River, close by where we are, and it is not yet dried up, what do we do in ensuring that while it is not yet dried up, how do we keep our communities water? That is the important thing that we currently want to do. And I felt that it is important that we address the media on this issue, so that you go back to your archives and say that you said in that briefing, and currently we are not there. But this is also part of oversight. Local government, how it works, and I always explain it's the triangle. You've got the politicians that were elected to be here on behalf of the communities. You've got the administration, and you've got the community. And if those people are not working together, then it means the system is going to fail. There are powers in the Constitution that has been given to organizations, precisely on the point that the oversight that needs to be played in municipalities, the community involvement is also important. And we really want to introduce this to communities, because we don't want to have communities that are just merely but complaining. But we also want communities that are assisting and saying that, are we contributing to the challenges that are there? And if we are contributing to the challenges that are happening in the municipality, how do we fix them with the municipality? So we can't be working against each other. We need to work together as a united front in order to solve the water crises in Ngwathe. Not only the water crises, every service delivery related challenge that we are finding, it can never be fixed only by councillors, whom are the politicians, and the administration. It needs all of us to work together, even the community. And the community should also be in a position to say that, yeah, I'm at fault. Let me assist the process. We were raising an issue to say that we're starting to go to spring. We already do not have water. A lot of people that love nature would want to garden, would love to do certain things. But as a municipality and a community, we will have to find a way of making sure that we are able to give water to our communities, to use it for human consumption. And at the later stage, then we'll go to our the gardens, and we'll do other issues. But currently, because we will have less water in Paris, that we solve that. Tomorrow we will be going to Kopis. Kopis also have water challenges. We have also appointed a contractor there to address the Kopis challenge. We are going to deliver a refuse compactor truck to Kopis, the community there, because we have promised that we are going to give one and reduce this thing of outsourcing, but rather bring in more things into the municipality. From there on, we'll be going to Fredderford. There is a project of where the community wanted a pavement, so we are going to fix that and put in the streets and fix the roads in Fredderford. And there are historical places where communities used to have their gatherings. So we are also going to fix Musipili Hall, whilst we are sitting down and trying to fix all other challenges that are in Ngwathe. There was a project in Heilbronn. We're supposed to implement it, but there were challenges that were happening there. So it's going to be delayed, but I'm sure it's delayed with 2 weeks, and we're going to fix that. What we are trying to do is to address all towns and not focus only in one town, but share the resources of the municipality equal to the 5 towns based on what the communities would have raised in the IDPs. For those words, I would like to say thank you very much. Pipeline.
Thank you very much to the Executive Mayor of Ngwathe Municipality, Councillor Victoria D.P. Mtombeni. She did mention that we need to work together, and I hope you heard that as colleagues from the media. You guys have been playing a very important role in terms of informing our communities about our challenges and our action plans and all that. And we hope that this content that you got here today is worth making headlines as well, as there's been a whole lot of information disseminated about the municipality in your media houses. I'm now going to give to the Acting Director of Technical Services Department so that he can also give an update on the current ongoing pipeline project from the water treatment plant to Reservoir number 1. Director, over to you.
Okay, no, thank you. An update on the pipeline that was launched around February, the one that we are doing internally. It was a 3-kilometer pipeline from the plant to Zone 6, old swimming pool. That line is going to assist reservoir number 1 to have water. Reservoir number 1 was without water for more than 15 years. So with that line, we are resuscitating that reservoir. At the moment, we are at 90%. We are only left to cross R59. So we are waiting permission from roads so that they can allow us to cross R59, and then the project will be complete. So after we receive the confirmation, we are going to finish that line. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Director of Technical Services, Acting Director, that is. Mr. Mukitepeli. Colleagues, we are now going to take your questions. This is the first round, and I'm hoping it will be the only round because we still have to go to visit the sites. Maybe other colleagues will have questions as we get there, as we see the sites and all that. We'll also allow a moment of that. But for now, we just need to talk on what the mayor and the director has said. So I'm going to take hands and we'll come in that order. And please, only journalists. And whether you're independent or you come from a particular media house, this media briefing is specifically for those, please. So please, you mention your full name, which media house you're from, and your question. Can I see hands, please? Okay. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and that's about it. I like it. Colleagues, can you please assist with the mic, the side? So we're only going to have that one round of questions, colleagues. There's only 3 questions. This side, please. Come on. Come on. Number 1, number 2, number 3.
Good day, Mayor. My name is Tabang Peri from Dara News. I have 2 questions. The first question is, this 66 million project and this asbestos project, are they going to go concurrently? Or then the second question is that you said something about the termination of a contractor that was terminated last year. So you said something like there was no progress. So I wanted you to get to the cracks. What led to the termination of those contracts? Yes.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Skepish. I'm from Parijs Gazette. I've got 3 questions. First, I would like to ask, 66 million, is that for the generator and the refurbishment of the plant altogether, or is there a separate budget maybe for the installing of the generator? That's the first question. The second one I want to ask is, a while ago at an IDP meeting, we asked for help from the community, if there might be some expertise among them, to come forward and offer their help. Is this offer still on the table? Do you need people from the community? And if you do need, is there a certain process that they must follow to offer their help and assistance in this regard? Thank you very much.
Good day, everybody. My name is Ian Barry. I'm the media director for Save Ngwathe. My question is, I just want to get clarification on the public meetings you're going to have to inform the people. Like we had a promise from the mayor and from the Prime Minister that every Tuesday we have meetings to update this. The last meeting was held on the 9th of May. Every Tuesday we pitch up, nobody is here. If the new meetings is going to be scheduled, will it be attended as promised and not like what's happening at the moment? Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Those were the only questions, and we'll now give to the executive mayor to respond.
Okay, thank you very much. Because we because we have appointed this 3 projects, which is now 4 projects that will be running dealing with water problems in Paris. They will be running concurrently. And then the question on the termination of the contractor. What we do normally, what I do as an executive mayor, there's sessions where I have with the consultant and the contractor
to have an understanding how far are they and what are the challenges. And also to see in terms of spending, how far are they in terms of spending. And you will see recently now, there's a very low spending rate in the municipality, but it was based on a decision that we have taken that we will not pay contractors for work that they've not done. We pay you for work that you've done. And now because the water challenges are so high and so forth, and there's no progress, why should we pay you as a municipality? So we would rather have those coffers, the money still in the coffers, being there up until such time they perform. Now, what we have identified, if you go to the water treatment plant, is where we are going to go now. The filters, there was no movement in terms of the filters itself. There was a, I don't know, there was a new system that was brought in. There's the monolithical and leopard one. So as a municipality, the old system was mono, ne? Yes. The old system was the monolithical system, which was fine. The leopard one, it was a project that you would find that if you wanted the material, you need to go overseas to get the material. And at that time, since 2019 to where we were, there was no progress that was happening. Also, in terms of how the project was done, you will see there is pipes that are looking at that are just outside there at the water treatment plant. We don't know what is happening with those pipes, which also the assessment that was made was a very dangerous assessment. But the contractor on its own would raise issues of saying that why we're not proceeding, its funds and so forth that are not available. And we could not take that to say that there's no funds available when there has been an upfront payment that has been made to a contractor. Now you say you don't have funds, but we've paid you for the work. It's a challenge. So also issues of upfront payments was a challenge, and ultimately, if you know about the company, today it is liquidated because already they have financial problems. So the company is liquidated, and they were doing the work there was just not. Like I said, we need to stop doing substandard work. It took a long period of time. And the correct word was to put contractors to term. They have done that for several of times. We have been consistently having meetings with the contractor. When are you going to perform? When were you going to perform? Promises were made and there was no performance. So we had to then terminate that contract. Now on the 66 million, I also want to just clarify this, Lizel, so that we are not told tomorrow that Ngwathe took the project is 66 million, but yet the project took this much. The budget is what was on the project cost is 66 million. But in terms of the process of people that have tendered and so forth, the appointment was made to an amount to a value of 61 million. So that there's clarity. If there's any adjustments that will happen, we'll come back and say there's an adjustment, or if there's no adjustment. And we'll raise reasons why. That is only on the water treatment plant. It does not include the generator. The generator, the appointment that has been made for the generator is about 3 million because it's a built-in and it is a big, it's a big project. So I must also just indicate that the plant, the 66 million project, which I'm calling, the funding comes from ARPIC. It's government, it comes from ARPIC. The generator is WISIC. It's not internal funds as well, because we don't have money. And then asbestos is an MIG project. So those are the funding agency to these projects. In terms of people with expertise, expertise are always required. I don't know along the way are there changes when this expertise has to come in. There's always you offer that you want to give your help, and then there's just a delay. I think maybe also the administrative issues of consistently changing this and coming else. So we agree today, tomorrow the person that you've agreed with is no longer there, but the expertise is still needed. And I'm still receiving letters of people that are moving in terms of, the one issue is the issue of the hydro plant. You still have that conversations with people that says, okay, this is how far we are and this is what we want to do. But one thing that we have also raised and councillors have raised with the officials is the delay in implementation. It's the delay of taking decisions. So that is as if the municipality does not help. We need a lot of help. There's a lot of challenges in this institution. Public meetings. I just want to clarify the issue of the 9th of May. You see, the reason why meetings did not proceed and continue is because you can't have a meeting where you are with stakeholders. And every time when there is a new next session, there's a new person that comes in, taking the meeting backwards. And then when you start to move forward, there's another person that comes in that meeting. It takes the meeting backwards. So what we have then agreed, and what I've done, which we need to implement, and that's why I spoke about the infrastructure subcommittee, is to give committees back their powers. Committees giving back their powers in terms of them having to operate and do their oversight. We'll continue having those meetings, but now it needs to be structural. It needs to be structural in the sense of saying that if you have said you are this organization, this person will be in this meeting, let that person remain in that meeting. We can't have new faces every time. And we get people not updating each other on what is the progress. We're taking people backwards. So we are willing to have those meetings. And now as well, on that meeting, like I've indicated, there is now a terms of reference in terms of who will be participating in these meetings and how will they participate in these meetings in moving forward, so that we have the community involvement. Now the issues that we have raised, public meetings as promised. Public meetings is a standard thing that needs to happen, that needs to be done by ward councillors. We have agreed, ward councillors have agreed to say that we will go to the community and engage them on what is going to happen. And I trust and believe the ward councillors of Ngwathe to say that they will be going to those public meetings to engage the community on what is happening. So those meetings will be happening, and I've seen that the minister has promised that we will have those forums and so forth. We are not deviating from what the minister has said, but there's just some issues that we need to address so that we can agree and we have a functional meeting that is going to work for us as a council and for the community at large, so that there is no, what is currently happening. You know that you were in a meeting, but when you go outside, instead of communicating the decision, it's a different decision that is going. So from what I see is that there's a lot of information going around, so we need to start centering the information, and we will indicate who will be forming part of these forums alongside of the politicians of this institution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Executive Mayor. Colleagues, do you have any follow-up question? If we don't, okay, could you please assist with the mic? We only have one follow-up question, or maybe two from Lizelle from Paris Gazette.
What I want to know is, you said it's 8 months, and they will be starting now. So can we assume that the full project you spoke about will be completed at the end of 8 months? Okay, and the contractor's name, is it possible for us to have the names of the contractors pointed to? And also with regard to the people offering assistance, what is the process? Should they maybe send a letter to your office, or is there a direct channel where they must leave their contact details?
Thank you very much, Lisa. One thing that in terms of the 4 projects, remember the water, the pipeline has long started. The only issue is that 90% we're just waiting for the consensus that we're supposed to get and to finalize the last piece. So it would not be 8 months, that one. It has to happen and be finalized as soon as possible. We said it's going to be finished by August, so we need to finalize the water, the the pipeline. And then the issue of the standby generator, what has been approved here is to say that in terms of the specification, because it needs to be built and so forth, so there's only 60 days that has been given to the contractor, 60 days. And then the plant and the asbestos both are 8 months that was given. And then in terms of the process, I've understood that not many people always want the mayor. And I've tried to decentralize this thing and say, if you can't find the mayor, there is an MMC that is available. So if they can send, yes, they can send to my office, but at the same time, so that there is progress. There's 5 towns that I need to service. So that there's progress, let's speak to the MMCs. Let's speak to our own ward councillors. I was shocked when one person raised this issue, said, why don't we have water? And I said, please, I'm at the grieving stage. I'm about to bury my brother. Can you please speak to your ward councillor? And a community member was saying, I do not know who my ward councillor is. And it was like, at this stage, is it true that ward councillors are not known? But we will fix that and we'll see how best. Because currently it's the mayor this, the mayor that, the mayor this, like I must now fix everything. And which is a challenge. But I would like to thank all other councillors that are doing the public meetings with their communities, councillors that are known by their community members, councillors that will literally send you a message every day. I've sent this to a director, I'm sending it to you, because now they're showing that we're doing something and you must know that this is what we're doing. And I would like to say thank you to all of those councillors that are doing their work daily and are doing the oversights, those that are known. The ones that are not known, fortunately enough, maybe now they will be known now that we're going to public meetings to speak about these issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Office of the Executive Mayor will be issuing a written statement on the contents of today's media briefing, because we are trying by all means to be as diverse as possible. To do something in writing, we will, and we will release it and we'll send it to you. We always respond to media inquiries as well. I'm sure colleagues have sent through their questions and they were answered. So we are hoping that we will see those stories trending from now, so that we can help each other by disseminating this very much useful information. From here we are doing site visits. We are only going to visit 2 places. We're going to go to the water treatment plant, and then we're going to go to Tumahole, next to a church, popularly known as Masele. I forgot its original name. Just to see how far the current pipeline project is. Thank you very much for joining us, colleagues.
Thank you.